Hello, guys. Thank you so much for coming back to the Intellects podcast. This is episode 3 with Jake Ross.
Hey everybody.
Thank you so much for being here,
Dude,
and
of
a
course.
pleasure. Just to give a quick introduction of Jake Ross, he's the CEO and founder of BYU Marketing, and he's a senior at Babson College. He's a proud founder with more than 40 clients. He might be more now, not sure, but yeah. Can you tell me? Let's go from the beginning. Let's go from the start. Can you take me back to like where you from? Where do you grew up, and then we can go with more questions.
Yeah, certainly. So it all started in Easton, Massachusetts. That's where I was born and raised till about third grade. Ended up moving to another town in Massachusetts. Graduated high school there. Always pretty entrepreneurial. When I was like maybe 12 or 13, I would make like little friendship bracelets and I would sell them at local pools actually.
So you're from the Mass area, right?
Exactly. Yeah,
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay.
So summer was my time, and I would say that's my intro to entrepreneurship. And I remember this one time I was like again like 12, and I sold one of the bracelets and it was like $2. The lady gave me 5. And I didn't have any cash to give her, so I had to go over to my mom get some cash to give her to give change, and that was kind of like the first memory of entrepreneurship I have.
Oh, okay, okay, perfect, perfect. And like going on with your young years, I know something that we spoke about, and I have seen on LinkedIn as well, was I used to sell baseball cards. Can you tell me more about that in specific? Because I think that's something that shaped you afterwards and made you the entrepreneur that you are now.
I always say like sneakers, cards, and there's one more and I'm forgetting it, but it's like an intro to entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
And it all started in middle school. I had an autoimmune disease called Stevens-Johnson syndrome.
Wow.
Basically, it's like an allergic reaction to pneumonia. So you get blisters all over your body. You have to get stitches in your eyes so that you don't go blind. Feeding tube because you can't eat. And so with that, one day my mom's friend brought in a box of sports cards. I would open up the packs. My mom would read off the players' names because I couldn't see. And I just fell in love with these like little pieces of cardboard. And as soon as I could see again, I was like sorting them every which way, looking at all the stats, like playing games with them. And I was like, wow, I really love this.
Wow.
I want to continue it. Knew I couldn't just throw money at the hobby. So I looked up, like I picked up a random card, looked it up on eBay, and I'm like, oh my God, this is $80. And that's how I sold my first sports card in 8th grade. And created a YouTube channel. Had about 500 subscribers by the time I hit freshman year of high school. Stopped doing it a little bit throughout high school to focus on studies. And I started this Instagram page at the high school for like sports and school spirit that's still running today. It's really cool. And fast forward freshman year of college, got into Babson. I was like, well, it's a pretty entrepreneurial school. I feel like I want to be running a business. So I picked sports cards back up. Grew the channel to about 11,500 subscribers and a big Discord community, and that was my intro to entrepreneurship.
Wow, wow, that's incredible to see how something that it can be seen as negative, you made it something positive, and that was kind of like a bit of the start of your entrepreneur path. So tell me, you are in Babson, you are a freshman at this time, correct? So how do you go from doing a YouTube channel, selling cars, to doing a marketing company? How did it happen?
Yeah, I mean, despite the rapid growth of the YouTube channel, my parents were still like, Jake, all right, you're a freshman, you still got to get an internship. So I applied to this marketing agency. I didn't really even know what it was all about. I just knew that they like made videos and designed graphics. And I was like, okay, well, I make my own thumbnails and I kind of edit my videos, not really. So I was like, I want to try it out. So I ended up getting the position and worked there for the summer. They asked me back for the fall, and I stayed there for the spring. And during this time, I was also writing a newsletter for an on-campus organization. So I had experience building my community, writing a newsletter, and working at an agency to see how everything operates. Some guy was like, I need help with my newsletter. I was like, oh, I'll write it for you. We hop on a call. He was also like, I want to create YouTube videos. Like, I'll edit them for you. And so it just started off as like an extra way to like make a little cash as a college kid that turned into something that is pretty exciting, and we'll be taking full time after graduation.
Wow, man, that's crazy to see that story. And how important do you think it was, like working at a specific agency for you? Like how important it was for you to be able to create your marketing agency? Do you think that it is necessary for, like, say, like someone that wants to start an entrepreneur or like a venture in a specific industry to first like work in that industry?
You don't. I mean, you don't have to work in the industry.
Yeah.
I would say it definitely helped me a ton. More because I learned about how business works and what a great culture looks like, how to empower your teammates and motivate them and lean on them because I don't know everything, and just kind of learned about business and running an agency in general. So of course it definitely helped. So I think work experience is vital, but I would say if you have an idea, just start building it and learn on the way. Because I would say 90% of what 90 to 95, 98% of what I've learned has just been because I did it myself.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Well, now I think like also like going on with with the marketing agency that you have currently. Can you tell me about like its current status? Like how many employees do you have? How many clients do you have? And then we can kind of like backtrack to see how you were able to build it.
Yeah, of course. So actively, we're working with 23 companies. That means we're doing something for them every single day. Probably in our book of business, we worked with about 50 plus companies, and we're still working with most of those either on like a monthly or quarterly basis, but I don't consider that active necessarily. And then, of course, like there's some clients that you just do projects for. They contract you for certain things. So I'd say it's an ongoing great relationship. We have 2 full-time employees, and then I'm the third technically full-time person, 3 part-time, and then we're bringing on another full-time teammate in July, which is super exciting. So
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, that's great to hear. And starting with like the start of Build Your Marketing, you acquired like the first one that wanted to do a newsletter. How did it transition to doing SEO, and also in terms of your agency, what services do you guys provide? Is it only like SEO, newsletter, paid ads? Do you mind going more in depth because marketing is something
Definitely.
very massive? So yeah, I think first kind of like explain what Build Your Marketing does in specific,
Yeah.
and then we can go with more of the questions. Yeah.
Certainly. So, Build You is more of a brand growth agency. So the traditional agency, you're going to be like, okay, I want to get more appointments for my medical aesthetics company. And you go to any traditional agency, they're like, let's run Google ads, let's run Facebook ads, let's do social media management, but let's post a bunch of discounts, offers, deals, things like that. We take a different approach to marketing. You approach us, and so for an example, an influencer creates their community first and then sells to them. So what we do for companies and personal brands, we help them create a community, whether that's through email marketing, social media, PR, just by posting content that people want to read or enjoy, stories, things that provide value to people. We're not worried about selling them or acquiring new customers every 5 days or whatever that looks like. We're just focused on creating a community of people that are just passionate about your restaurant, about your aesthetic company, about your junk removal service. It literally could be any type or industry agnostic. So it's a lot of just creating entertaining, fun, value-added content.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I think that's great to hear because you probably know like marketing, it kind of like when it comes to, hey, I will guarantee you 20 appointments by the end of the month. It's something that I think got satire, so that's great because I think the most important thing is building a brand, building a community, and then obviously they become loyal to you. It's so easy to sell.
Exactly.
And I think that on your LinkedIn it appears a lot. So can you tell me about just to give a quick, I think fun fact: Jake Ross is the king of LinkedIn. His posts are crazy. So yeah, can you tell me more about LinkedIn and how it has, how you're using it for your business, for your personal brand, and yeah, overall?
I would say 65% of our new business comes from inbound LinkedIn leads. Whether that's someone that I met in person that now follows my LinkedIn content and decides, okay, yeah, we actually do want to use you for marketing. We want to try this out. So that's been great, but it really just comes down to telling a story and providing value at the same time. So a great post has 4 steps in it. First, it's a hook. One sentence that is really going to make someone click see more. And you have to be super honest with yourself. I see so many people write hooks that I'm like, nobody's going to stop scrolling on their feed to click this. A bunch of mumble jumble paragraphs. Like nobody's reading that. You need a hook like a YouTube title. I'm sure you've run on YouTube and you've been like clickbaited or whatever.
Exactly.
You have to make it dramatic. You have to make it fun. You have to make people click see more. That is the most important thing for LinkedIn to push your content. I don't care if you have a link. I've heard stuff for like, oh, if you have a link in your post, it doesn't push it as much. Like, no. It only matters. The hook matters the most. Okay. Second part is that second sentence relates the hook to a story. So let's say one of my best posts I've ever posted was something about how my near-death experience led me to start Build You Marketing. That was my hook. That's something that I think people want to click on. It
Yeah.
showed. It has like 20-something thousand impressions or whatever it may be. And the second sentence is now how that post relates to what I'm going to talk about. It's one sentence about the story. Like I was in 8th grade and I blah, blah, blah. Great. So I've now set up a hook. People have clicked see more. There's another one sentence that they kind of know what the post is about. Then that third part of the post is something that I learned from the experience, or the real bulk of the story, making it really easy to read, using bullet points, no more than one line per sentence, one sentence per line, something super simple that people can scan. And that fourth thing is getting people involved, thanking people, and just kind of telling people why I posted it, to inspire other people to turn their really hard realities in life to something that can be really fruitful and successful and fun.
Yeah, wow. Well, I actually saw that post and I saw how many comments it got. And also, like, going with that question, do you think comments are good in LinkedIn? Like, what?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
People will pay for other
Yeah.
people to comment on their LinkedIn. That's how valuable it is because
So those it pushes like in.
yeah, so like, let's say
Okay.
you comment on my post, there's going to be a percentage of your network that sees my post.
Okay.
And the more people in your network that engage with that post, then it's going to get pushed to more of your network and started to push to their network. So discoverability on LinkedIn, when someone comments or reacts on your post or shares it or saves it or even just clicks see more,
Yeah.
it's amazing. Like people do not utilize LinkedIn enough for discoverability
Yeah.
and building their business.
Wow, awesome, awesome. Well, that's great to hear. So if you ever looking for the LinkedIn sauce, just go on his own personal LinkedIn, and then you'll be able to see. And what has been the post with the most impressions that you have gotten?
I would say it's how my near-death experience led me to start building marketing. I think how I run a six-figure business as a
Yeah.
full-time college student, that one did pretty well. When I was in sometimes the content
Yeah.
will speak for itself. You don't have to get creative with hooks. So when I won Boston Inno 25 under 25 award, that one did really well. But I think last month we did like 100,000 impressions on LinkedIn alone. And honestly, my LinkedIn is not as great as our clients' LinkedIn's. Like I got to be honest, like we take our clients' LinkedIn's probably more way more seriously than I take my own LinkedIn. So I think we have more impressive stats and statistics for our clients than we do for myself. So
Yeah, and go with your clients. Like I know you're currently working with 23 clients, and what has been the biggest change that you have seen from like before Build Your Marketing, before Jake Ross, and then from now working with you, and like if you don't perhaps explain a bit more about like that change that you have seen.
in terms of what specifically?
Like let's say I think in terms of marketing and creating like a brand, I think we say followers and increasing followers, because I think that's something that people want. That's the reason why they will go to Build Your Marketing.
Yeah. Oh my God. So this is the part. Like when I sell, like when someone's like, Jake, I'm interested in LinkedIn. Like, what's the benefit of it?
Yeah.
I honestly can't even explain it because there's just so many perks.
Yeah.
Like, not only has it like built my business through referrals and like people just coming to me because they're like, oh, this kid is always on my LinkedIn feed. He must be doing something right. He should run my marketing or LinkedIn. I've been invited to dinners, to speak at conferences, pitch competitions. I've been like referred out to business. I have a post coming out that I think can do crazy. It's going to be like how I made $25,000 from one LinkedIn post. So that's coming soon. I think that's going to be one of my top posts. So I think it's just like it opens up to so many opportunities, and it's a great way to stay in touch with people. So I'll go to events. People have already heard about me, and it's like so easy to now like just chat with them and say, hey, like we're doing, I saw you're doing X, Y, Z. It's like there's no like, how are you? What's your company? Blah, blah, blah,
They
blah.
already know.
I'll meet people at booths.
Yeah.
I'll post on LinkedIn. Then they'll reach out or comment on my stuff. Oh, it was great seeing you the other day, blah, blah, blah. It's just a great way to stand out, network, stay connected. And I think the best thing that I've loved is it's given me a channel to give back.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many people have helped me in my time, as I've grown this venture. It's only been 2 years, so I know there's a lot more to come in terms of getting help, because trust me, we're not even close to being at the point. So I think the fact that people see me and have asked, oh, can we jump on a call? Or I have this question. I've been able to answer and kind of help people through LinkedIn. That has been probably the most rewarding thing ever.
Perfect. And that's the social media platform that you think is the best overall.
For my business, yes. For other people's companies, like it just depends on who you're trying to target, what your goals are, etc. But in a B2B sales space and just just wanting to network and get to know people and be genuine. Yeah, I think it's great. And it's how I found you guys, was interested in what you guys were doing and your services. You just post on LinkedIn a lot. It built my trust with y'all. Like I don't know. I get so many emails in my inbox about staffing companies and hiring, helping you hire outside the United States. And I never really look at them. And then, you're posting. I'm like, you know what? I'm interested in. Let me give them a shot. So
exactly, and actually the reason why I reached out to Jake the first time was because I saw so much LinkedIn posts. I saw so many people commenting on there. Like obviously, like his content gets pushed a lot in LinkedIn, so that's kind of like the reason why. And I saw like, oh, he goes to Babson College as well, and then we actually hop on a call. This is like a couple months ago during the summer, and then we're here.
there you go, all because of LinkedIn.
So LinkedIn is the platform to go when it's B2B, like Jake said. So the LinkedIn question, we spoke about it. I would like to go a bit back into kind of like scaling your business, because I think that's one of the things where most people give up. They get one client, they get two, they get three, especially in marketing, and then they just cannot acquire more clients. The customer acquisition is like their main bottleneck. So what was the method that you used for your own, or what was your story for you to be able to scale up and to be at such magnitude now?
I just had like that first client. Second client that we got, I was in a pitch competition. And instead of pitching my business, I spent the 3 minutes telling all the judges, like 3 judges, like I gave each of them 1 minute of tips they can do in their marketing to improve. And one of the judges hired me right off the spot. So that was cool. That was my second client. Third and fourth client, I got lucky. I sent some cold emails, had no idea what I was doing. And it was like the perfect timing. They were looking for someone. They hopped on a call. I had solid pricing in the beginning. But I would say the bread and butter has been in person. I know I run a digital marketing company. You're like, Jake, you just told me that I should do everything in person, and you get 65% of your business on LinkedIn. Your digital presence should just support your sales process. You should not rely on it to be your sales generator. You need to go out to events, go and meet people, form connections, help them. Like genuinely just want to help. I saw you're grinding, so I'm like, oh, I have this press connection. I'm just going to refer you to them because I think it would be great. Like just be genuine and have that digital presence as your support system. And that has been a great way for me to scale. Go to events. Venture Lane has great events. Startup Boston, for example, has a newsletter sent every Monday where they list the top events for the week. Market Social, Ecos AI. Those are 4 places. Eventbrite, 5 places. Portalis, 6 places that you can go right now to go find events, to go meet people that could be your next customers, mentors, friends, anything.
Perfect. No, I think Jake got it on that. Especially Venture Lane is a good, is a good place to meet interesting entrepreneurs and startups. But I think in-person connection is the most important thing. And I think something that you do on your LinkedIn is you meet them in person, they follow you on LinkedIn, and you kind of nurture them through your social media. So it's always good to have that in-person connection. So one thing that I saw, and I think it is very astonishing for you to have accomplished, is to be, like you mentioned, 25 under 25 on the Boston Business Journal.
Actually, myself and one of my clients got listed on the journal. So it was great. We do a lot of work with the Boston Business Journal. We refer a lot of our client stories to them, and they take a lot of our stories. And they've actually been like a leader. They've led on a couple stories, which has been great. And so I think it's just like I had that connection with them. We've worked really closely and done a lot of work with them. And so it was really cool to kind of get recognized for that work with them. And then I had no idea I was going to be on the cover. Like the newspaper came out and I got sent to, I actually saw it on someone else's LinkedIn. Someone else posted it. And I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. So that was a shock, but neat. It was really cool. And it honestly boosts credibility at the end of the day. So.
Okay, awesome. So Jake, you are, currently at Babson College, your last semester. How is it, running a business, a 6-figure business, and at the same time, going to class, studying? How's the balance?
It's a lot. I would say it definitely helps because my team is fantastic. I'm super lucky to have 2 full-time people that are like this devoting their lives to build you, which is crazy to think about. Shout out Megan and Sarah, you guys are amazing. And then even like our part-time teammates, Madison, Chris and Maria Elena, you guys are amazing. I would not be here without you. I want to let you guys know that if you're watching. But it really is like networking with professors. I would say being very open and honest about the commitments you have and why my business is a priority over some of my classes. And I found like honestly just being very upfront with professors and being like, look, I have this going on right now. Like I'm working, I promise I'm trying my best in your class, but I'm going to prioritize my business over your class. And I want to be very upfront with you about that because I'm graduating and this is what's important right now. And honestly, professors take that a lot better than you'd expect, especially the ones that have real world experience and have run their own venture or like worked at a company before. And I don't know, I just found they're very lenient, maybe a little too lenient with me. But thank you. You can still be lenient. It's okay.
Awesome, awesome. No, I think that's the best approach that you can have, because if you don't show up to class or you don't do the homework because obviously you're busy running a business or anything, I think it's just better to be upfront with your professor so they can know the reason behind it. Because if not, they're gonna be thinking that you're just cutting classes and you don't care about the class, but it's not like that. You just have priorities.
Yeah.
And going with your team, because I know that's something that is very important to you. Is there anybody else from Babson in your team currently?
So Maria Elena is part-time with us, and she's a Babson senior.
Yeah.
And then Ryan Lytell worked with Build You for about a year. He's amazing. He basically, my first employee, worked for 8 months, went abroad, so he took a little break to go enjoy that time, which I do not blame him, and then came back last summer, and hopefully we'll be working together in the future at some point. But yeah, he's been super instrumental and amazing to work with. So shout out Ryan if you're watching this too.
Awesome, awesome. And obviously, like I'm in the staffing world, so dealing with people is something that I do on a daily basis. And I think it is super important when it comes to building a team is making the right hire. So can you tell me what's your process in terms of, the hiring process for you to hire like the right person to join your team?
Dude, honestly, I've just been lucky. I don't even know. Like I go in the interviews, like I ask probably different questions every time, just based on stuff that I'm curious about. The main thing I look for is, are you entrepreneurial? Have you built your own brand? Have you built your own community? That's what I care about, because that shows me you're passionate about what we're doing at Build You. That shows me you've been an owner and have made consequential decisions. And you just understand the intangibles of community building and marketing. That's what I really care about. And you need to have a good attitude, positive attitude, outgoing, want to learn, want to try new things, want to just like put your head down and figure it out. I've just gotten so lucky. I've gotten so lucky. I don't know how. I really don't know how. It just seems like every time I've hired someone, like everybody in my team, it's like it's been a great hire. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. And in terms of like your company's culture, do you have anything that you try to keep the team, motivated? Because I think, being able to be like the leader of a team and making sure that all of them are motivated and more than that, committed to the same mission is the most important thing, but also the hardest thing to do as a founder and CEO. So what's your method for this?
I think 2 things. Trust. So trying your best not to micromanage, which I do try my best and I'm very open, and get feedback and implement that feedback. Those are the 2 biggest things. Trust your teammates. You hired them for a reason. There's no point to micromanage them. If they think they want to make a certain decision and they've been working on this account for a year, there's absolutely no reason I should go and be like, oh, we probably shouldn't do that. I mean, unless, of course, it's like a big red flag or it's something new that they're trying for the first time that I've done for a while. Trust them. You hired them for a reason. Second thing is get their feedback. We do quarterly calls. We do weekly check-ins. And I always ask, like, how's everything going? And my favorite question is, if you were in a room and you were complaining to your friend about Build You or myself, what would you say? And I cannot tell you, that is when I get the best feedback. And I always say, never going to hold it against you. I do it because I want to make your experience here better. If I have no idea what's going on, how am I supposed to make this experience the best I can for you? And I felt like just opening up a safe space like that and being like, just act like you're going to complain about me or Build You. has been amazing. And then implementing that feedback. And every single week on these check-ins,
Yeah.
reference that feedback and like, hey, I know you gave me this feedback last time. We're doing this, this, and this week to get that done. And then actually take action. You can talk. If you take action and implement the feedback, that's the best thing. People feel heard, and they should feel heard. They're in this, like the grind, doing the creative work, working with clients, all that. That is tough. Every single day, like wake up 8-10 hour days sometimes, where you're just head down writing content, making edits, communicating with clients. They know best. Take their feedback, implement it. Easiest way to do it. And I'm reading this book right now by Joey Coleman. How to Never Lose an Employee Again, or something. I think that's the title. And just different ideas, like something as simple as sending a handwritten note saying how you actually. There's always that communication barrier where teams never really get to know how much you appreciate them. And a lot of people will say, and I hear this a ton, it's like, I wish my team or my employees felt as passionate about the business as I do. And Joey says this in his book, and I was like, just like, wow, when I read this. And he was like, your employees wish you cared about them as much as you care about the business. And I was like, wow, that's great. And he's like, and he writes, not to say you don't appreciate your employees, but you don't, like a lot of people don't show it. You can think it, but if you don't show it, then it doesn't matter. So I think finding things as simple as like mailing a letter, a handwritten note to your team, I just tried this the other day, like sending a video in the morning and just saying like, good morning, like what's up everybody, and like shouting people out. Like that's just a cool way to like use video that like nobody does. And it's like, you just do a selfie. It's like a raw video. And so I'm only like about 100 pages into this book, and it's so influential. I cannot wait to reach out to him about my experience reading it so far. It even starts with like the job rec and like how to write a really great job rec to attract the talent and the people you want as part of your culture.
I might have to get the book.
I'm telling you, I'll give you this when I'm done. It is one of the best books I've ever read. And I think it's as simple as that. Just caring, implementing feedback, and just trying cool things, like showing that you appreciate them. Because I do, and I think about it, but not enough managers and founders show it or tell it.
Going back into marketing and stuff, obviously that's the company, that's what you run. For you in specific, what do you think is the most efficient like marketing strategy to use, or like marketing complement? Let's say if it's paid ads or SEO, if you can choose one of those, which one will it be?
I'm so biased. I'm gonna say LinkedIn or like content marketing. Really, it just depends on what your goals are at the end of the day. Overarching though, I mean, I really have found that just putting out content on the proper channel that is value added, targeted towards what you're doing, and telling a story, that literally takes care of all your problems. I mean, there's literally some times where like we're so busy here at Build You that I can't post a blog. So I'm like, oh, what if it brings in another lead that we can't handle right now, or a sale? Or sometimes I won't post on LinkedIn because I'm like, I can't take any more like business right now. I need a week to like chill for a second and get other things in order. So it really is just content marketing. That is the biggest thing.
Awesome.
Don't try to sell to people. Don't try to sell to people.
Exactly, that's true. I think the best way to sell is without actually selling.
You did that to me. You never once were like, try to sell to me at all. You just built a genuine relationship where you genuinely wanted to help me, and I understood what you guys were doing, and it built that trust. And that's you're like the prime example of someone that uses the marketing strategies that we try to do for other people.
Exactly, it is true. I think Jake got it on the dot. Now going on with, obviously, this is your last semester at Babson College. What's your future for the plans? What do you look yourself doing in, like, let's say 3 years from now? I think.
Gosh, 3 years. I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow. No, whatever's on my calendar, to be honest. I would say, post-grad, I'll live at home just to enjoy the summer with the fam. During the last 4 years, you don't get a ton of time to spend with your family when you're in college. And even if they're 25 minutes down the road, sometimes it can be really tough to find that time. So I would say I'm just going to really enjoy the summer with the fam. And, we'll see where the business is at come September. A lot of my friends, unfortunately, are leaving Boston. I definitely want to stay here. A lot of them go to New York, LA, Florida. So we'll just play it by ear. It's nice because I have the freedom to do that. And 3 years from now, man, I have no idea. Hopefully we're working with hundreds of clients and We just have an awesome team, and
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I'm
And
not that type of person that has that 5, 10, 15-year vision. I take it month by month, week by week.
okay, perfect. And let's say in terms of like, what's like the main goal of BYU marketing? Are you looking to keep scaling up, or are you looking to see like in the future maybe like sell it or like exit out of the company? Do you want to do other entrepreneur ventures? Like, what's in your mind in that regard?
I think as long as I'm learning and as long as I'm passionate, enjoying what I'm doing, I don't see myself stopping.
Okay.
If I get to the point where maybe I feel things are getting a little repetitive and I'm not learning as much,
Yeah.
or I'm not meeting as many new people as I'd love, and I think there's a different opportunity, another venture that I could do that would make me feel more fulfilled,
Yeah.
then maybe I'll think about it. But right now, I'm so happy with where Build U's at, where Build U's going. Super passionate about it. I'm meeting so many people every single day. I'm learning way more than I could have ever imagined I'd learn at this age. So I don't really see me stopping anytime soon.
Awesome. And talking with your age in specific, what does your family or even your peers like think about you? Because you are young, you're a young entrepreneur, and you're already like making so many connections, and you're running an entire business with your team. Like, what do they think of you?
You'd have to ask them. I don't really know. To be
Yeah.
honest, I'll never know what people truly feel. But of course, people have given a compliment, which I
Yeah.
appreciate. But at the end of the day, I'm hoping I can either inspire the next series of student entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs in general, or just show
Yeah.
people that they can do it. And I think at the end of the day, I'm just here to inspire and show people if you really work hard and put your head down, you can do it. That means you right there.
Awesome, awesome. And obviously, me and Jake, we went to Babson College. So, that's kind of like what we rap. We are, very proud of, attending this college. So, how did Babson shape your entrepreneur journey and more in specific, your life completely?
Babson
Yeah.
social media, you're going to want to clip this piece. If I was not a Babson, I would not be running a startup.
Wow.
Straight up. I think the overall community there is so startup and entrepreneurial mindset focused. That's been huge. The people that I've surrounded myself with in communities such as eTower, which is 20 other student entrepreneurs that I live with that all run their own companies. That's been amazing. The Blank Center for Entrepreneurship is fantastic. I'll be competing in the semifinals of the Beta Challenge, a week from Wednesday. So there's just so many opportunities at Babson. The alumni, professors, oh my gosh, like my sophomore year marketing professor, Professor Gustafson, shout out Professor Gustafson. I called him last Friday. I'm driving. I'm like, hey, Lee, I'm on a first name basis with my professor. I'm like, Lee, going through this challenge right now. He ran an agency. Can we chat next week to like navigate this? Blah, blah, blah. We have a call tomorrow, 1:00. Just a quick
Awesome.
phone call. I can
Wow.
call my professors. I don't know what other college. I mean, maybe I'm just in the bubble here.
Yeah.
What other college can you just call up your professor? Hey, Lee, tell him the problem. Let's get some time on the calendar. I'd love some help.
Yeah.
Babson has been insanely influential. It's been crazy. So shout out Babson and shout out literally everybody,
Yeah.
friends, family.
And one thing that I think I love about Babson is that the business professors in Babson actually have run business in the past.
Yes.
So I think that's something that sticks out Babson. And like you said, I think the most important thing is the people. My mentor, I met at Babson. He was also a Babson college student. So I think it's just surrounding yourself with same-minded people that forces you to start a business. Like, cause for me, in specific, like when I went to Babson, obviously I wanted to be entrepreneur. But when I actually saw people doing businesses left and right, I kind of felt like left out. So I'm like, okay, I have to get my things straight and start doing something, because this is the place to be.
Definitely.
Well, another thing that I wanted to talk about is about clients, because obviously it's a very important thing in business overall. So can you tell me about, let's say, who has been your best client yet?
Every client's my best client.
Yes.
No, I mean that. I actually love all my clients. You have to if you're going to
Yeah.
work with them. You got to be as passionate about their idea as they are. And at the end of the day, you just got to provide as much value as you can, as if it's your own business. That's how you're going to be successful. That's how they're going to be successful. So if you don't believe in the idea, don't market for them, right? If you don't believe in how they run their operations or doing something that doesn't really align with your values, don't work with them. you choose, like, you'll get to a point in your business where you can choose who you work with. And when you get to that point as well, that's the best, because you're working on companies where you really believe in their mission. You really believe in what they're doing and the impact they're making. And that's what matters the most.
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome to hear. And in terms of like the craziest client, the worst clients that you have ever had, do you ever had like a story that even now, you talk with your friends or talk with your team, like, hey, do you remember X person? Or you never had like a story like that?
No, in all honesty, like, I really haven't had a bad or wild or crazy story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't have much.
Well, that's great to hear. That's great to hear. And now more into like kind of like the last part of the podcast is in terms of advice. So what advice would you give, let's say, Jake Ross entering Babson College right now?
I always think about the question, like, what if I was a freshman, but I knew everything I knew now? That'd be wild. I think consistency is the number one trait a business owner or athlete or someone that is trying to be great at something can have. There's no reason to sprint and work like 24 hours on a Monday and then not work the rest of the week. Sure, I'm sure that would work for some people. I found the most successful people improve by 0.01% every single day. And that's what they focus on. So relating it back to me, to kind of give you a story, to put that in perspective. I run a mile every day.
Yeah.
And I just try to do a little bit more every single day. So I started off first day, I struggled through that mile. Like, I struggled through. And then I did 1.01 mile, 1.02, 1.03, 1.04, 1.05 every single day, not rushing to get to this certain place. And by day 6 or 7, like 6 or 7 days in, I was like, wow, this is so much easier than the first 3 days where I stopped and collapsed on the side of the road basically after I was done. Yeah. And so it's being consistent. And when you're consistent, you'll just slowly start to improve. Don't rush results. Don't grow too quickly if you don't have to. I spent 2 years. I've pivoted the pitch a lot on what the venture is. I pivoted what we do. I learn every single day from clients. How can we make service better? And that's what matters. Just stay consistent.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I think one of the most important things is putting in reps, because that's how you get better. It's not it's not the first month that you're not be balling out, or the second month. It might be even 6 months without seeing any results before your business starts picking up.
Yeah.
And then going with the same thing. What has been the best lesson you have learned in business?
Well, it's something you just touched upon, right? Yeah. It could take 6 months to have one great month. And then you can have that one great month and have 6 months more of meh. Entrepreneurship's a roller coaster. Super high highs, super low lows. I remember, and because everybody can understand better when you tell a story. Yeah. Super low. It was 9 p.m., 9:30 p.m., the day before my beta challenge application was due. Yeah. Sunday night. My faculty advisor calls me. He's like, Jake, this isn't great. You need to improve. Do this, this, and this. And I was like, it's 9:30 p.m. on a Sunday. I'm tired. I just worked all day. I was at home, and I just started crying. Not because she said it was bad. I was just like so overwhelmed and like, is this even worth it? Like, am I doing the right thing? Should I just get a job after I graduate? Like, I was just so like low. Ended up staying up till 3:30 that day because I went back to E-Tower and the kids were like, we're all staying up and we're going to all submit our decks and things like that. And then, I'm running 2 days ago and I get the email that I'm, a semifinalist, nor that I even think I was even going to like submit my application here. Yeah. And that's when like I went from a low to a high. And the best thing you can do is just ride that line straight across. Don't get too upset when it's low. Yeah. Don't get overexcited when you're high. You can celebrate. Yeah. You can also feel a little bit bad and do things like get a nice like waterworks going sometimes, or like, sometimes I go for a run just to get like my frustration out. But the best thing you can do is just ride that line. Anytime there's a low, there's a high coming, and probably anytime there's a high coming, there's a low coming. So, yeah.
Wow, I think Jake got it on the dot, because like for me, on my own entrepreneurial experience has been the same. Like one day I think I'm Mark Zuckerberg. I'm like, and then the other day I'm like feeling I'm gonna go bankrupt. I'm gonna sell my business. I don't even know what to do with my life. So I think that's something that you hit it on the dot, and also being able to control like you said, like your emotions in the highs and in the lows, because it always changes, it always fluctuates.
Always. And it's like, it can literally change in the same day. Like, I'll wake up, great emails coming in, the client will say, oh, we just, this person just reached out and wants to work with us. I'm like, yes. And then this client will reach out and it's like, I want to redo this post. I didn't like blah, blah, blah. And then you're low. And then someone reaches out and they're like, oh, we want to work with you. And then you're kind of like in this middle area. And I'm telling you, it's like every single day, morning to night. And so just trying to work best to ride that line, even if it's during the day, during the hour. That's huge. And never losing that confidence. Like, if you're a student entrepreneur, I don't care what stage you're at, the fact that you took your idea and started working on it and are wherever you're at today, that took guts, that took courage, bravery, and you have to remember, you have to appreciate that. The normal college student isn't really out here starting their own venture or like taking the risk to put their idea into the world that people, opening up to extreme criticism. So the fact that you're doing it or you're thinking about doing it is a first step, and you should be extremely proud of yourself, and just remember that, even during the low periods.
Awesome. I think that's a great clip, by the way.
I got you. I'm like, I'm thinking like, all right, when is he gonna clip this? Let me talk to the camera.
And you see, that's marketing. You see, that's how Jake works. That's why if you ever need any marketing services, Jake is your guy. And in terms of like going back what you were saying about building a business and more in particular in sales, you're gonna get like a bunch of no's. I think you wanna get probably 20 no's before you get a yes.
Of course.
So I wanna hear your input in terms of sales and being able to face rejection and overcome rejection overall.
I think everybody's getting rejected. It's really hard at first, and you just kind of become numb to it. Yeah. The best thing you can do is not I gotta know. It's I gotta know because. And if you can fill in that sentence after because, that is the most one of the most valuable things. If a company goes, Jake, we're not ready to work with you guys, and you ask, no worries, interested to hear why, like is there something that we can improve? Is there something that you think is missing? If you can find out why companies aren't ready to work with you or don't want to work with you or decide not to work with you again, that is how you can be successful. Because you're getting feedback and you're implementing that feedback. It goes back to the same thing where I asked my teammates, if you were going to complain about Build You to someone, what would you say? It's that same idea. Someone tells you no, why are they saying no? Yeah. And it's not for you to go and prove to them why they made a bad decision. Maybe for some people it's a great decision not to work with you because not every client's going to be a fit for your company. And you need to understand that. That is like huge. But then later on, I can't tell you how many no's have just turned into yeses because they've seen us implement something. Not me going like, oh, you told us this, so we did the blah, 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 blah. Just show by example. I think that's been the biggest thing. And it's literally been why we've been able to grow as an agency because clients or potential clients have said no. I've understood why, and I've improved it.
So last question of the podcast, how Build Your Marketing changed your life?
That's a good question. It's shown me that anybody can do something when you put your mind to it and you stay consistent with it and you work hard and you always want to learn. And I think that's been beneficial to my health. Like I haven't had any added sugar in about 17 months now.
Wow.
Because I saw with Build You, if you're just consistent, it's all in the mind. If you're always willing to learn, become better, you can really do anything. And so, I've lost like 20 something pounds since then just by cutting out, added sugar. And I think that's what it's been, a mindset shift more than anything. And I hope that I always try to like empower my team that way and tell them if you're willing to put in the work and put your mind to it, you can get it done. And for anybody, my sister, who actually just quit her job and became a full-time influencer, right? Like, she mentioned that it's like just by seeing me kind of go through the process and realize like when you see someone be able to be successful, it's a lot easier to see the path and follow that path. And I think that's at the end of the day what it's shown me.
So Jake, before closing the podcast and closing this episode, what's the best way for people or even businesses that are watching this to reach out to Jake and Build Your Marketing?
You can connect with me on LinkedIn. It's just Jake Ross, and hopefully my SEO on LinkedIn is strong enough for you. And if you want to get in touch, check out our portfolio. Go to thebuildyou.com. Maybe we could put some text on the screen.
No, yeah. You know, Santi over there, that's from Argentina, handling all of this. We put the text there. So.
He's the real man. He's been here the whole time, remote. So shout out. And if you're interested in shooting me an email, just hit me up, jake@thebuildyou.com.
Well, Jake, it was a pleasure having you in the Intelix podcast, and thank you so much, man.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you.